Welcome to RC Underground Radio.
We're racing toy cars here.
If you've been looking for a podcast that talks about one RC tracks, suppliers, and events, then you're in the right place.
I haven't changed my underwear since the Kenman.
See,
I'm not kidding.
I'm
not kidding. It's
I didn't
the
want
same.
to go there.
It's this.
And we're glad you're here. Now, here are your hosts, Ryan Retzloff and David Brinkman.
I am a BB in a boxcar. Hey Dave, I'm kind of feeling a little like drained today.
Yeah.
You know, we called the Ron Peacock race yesterday at Chiefland, and it was a long night, good night of racing. So
3 hours.
yeah, it was about 3 hours. Yeah, I didn't get home till late, and by the time I ate and the whole 9 yards. But I got to tell you, it's time now to gain some energy and unleash the Kraken. I've been waiting 2 weeks to be able to do this, so I'm going to get some energy. And with that, I'd like to welcome Derrick from Carpy's. Welcome, Derrick.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm going to join you in that ceremony.
Nice.
Oh, so delicious.
Nice. And I'll run downstairs. I got one down there. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's good stuff.
So
that
good.
is good stuff.
You got it nice and chilled.
Absolutely. It's been in the fridge the whole time, man. And I screwed up. I didn't order any on my last order, but I'll be sure on the next one to get it.
We actually sold out.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this little energy drink.
Yeah.
What made you come up with this, buddy?
So energy drinks are our currency at the shop. So anytime someone gets mad at the other, or they felt like they did someone dirty or let them down, or if someone was sick and had to call out the next day, that's our currency, energy drink. So, I don't know, one day I'm just like, we should just get our own energy drink. Then I got to Google them when I got home, and I'm like, I sent everybody the link. I'm like, we can just do that. Like, it's not even a big thing. So there's a company in Nevada that, you can choose like your color or your flavor profiles, and you send them the file, and they print it, label it up, and ship it out to you. I think it was like 4 weeks, and the minimum order was like 30 cases of it. But pretty cool product. And the main thing really wasn't really to sell it necessarily. It was more of just like a cool promotional item. So when we get a big customer, somebody wants donations for a race, someone's going to remember getting an RC branded energy drink over like, a shirt or a couple stickers or something. So it's a little more memorable than the typical, branding giveaway type stuff. And it's damn good on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's absolutely delicious.
Yeah, I went over big at the RC Underground. Thanks again for doing some sponsorship for the Kenman. So what we do at the Kenman with the prizes for the drivers is, as their numbers pick, they get to pick whatever they want that's in the stack. And the Carpy's drinks went right away. They were gone right away.
That's awesome.
What's your plans? Are you gonna reorder some more of this or what?
I think so. Originally, I figured 30 cases would last me a while, but it was about a month and they were gone. Of course,
that's awesome.
We consumed a good dent of that at the shop, but
yeah,
you got to do
but
product
customers
testing.
would definitely order it from you.
Yeah.
Yep. Still, that's impressive though. I mean, 30 cases in less than a month, and I'm sure a decent amount of that was sold. So
right,
that's proof of concept right there.
Yeah. Wait, you can do. We should need to do like a special RC Underground flavor of Carpy's energy.
I'd be down for that. Yeah, RC Underground Radio. We could. That would be super cool.
So Derrick, you've been on the show before. We talked a lot about kind of the start of Carpy's and how you guys have really gotten to where you're at, and you just continue to expand and grow. And can you talk a little bit about it's been almost a year since you've been on. Can we talk? Obviously, we've got the energy drinks. We just discussed that a little bit, but what else is coming? If there's anything you want to talk about, and what else have you guys done in that year's time?
I'm probably can't remember everything, but A couple of the big things recently we've done is we became title sponsor for all three of the PRW Carpet Oval Pan Car races. So they have the Putnam Memorial, which is actually next week. We're title sponsor for that. We're title sponsor for the Winter Blast, as well as I can't even remember the third one. There's a third race, but the Putnam Memorial and the Winter Blast are the two main ones, and so we were able to acquire sponsorship for that. And we actually just recently got an agreement. We have 3 1RC tracks within about a 45-minute area of here, and we're going to be title sponsor for that whole. They're doing a little point series. It's called the Northeast 1RC Shootout Series. The Phoenix Raceway, the Shop, and No Hugs Raceway. I don't know if you guys know Mike Jeffries.
The name sounds very familiar.
Yeah, he's a big dirt oval guy. He owns the No Hugs Raceway.
Okay.
So he's the final stop of the tour, and he actually has his big race, I think a couple weeks before or a couple weeks after, called the Freeze. And that's a pretty big one for him. I know last year he got, I think it was like 30 or 40 1RC entries for that race. So it should be a good series. It's gaining a lot of hype, the 1RC in this area. So, it's a cool thing that they're kind of all working together and trying to make a little tour out of it.
Sure. Do you know what those tracks are? Those all carpet tracks? Are they foam tracks? Any idea what their surfaces are?
I know Phoenix. That one's the closest one to us. It's about 25 minutes away. That one is a gray carpet track. Okay. And I think it's probably around like a 40-foot run line. It's, I think, the biggest track in the series. The Shop, that's a little bit further yet for us. But that one, I think, I could be wrong, but it's I think it's one of those tracks that 1RC sells. And it's kind of like the rollout with the walls and stuff. Okay. And then No Hugs, I believe, is a carpet track. I haven't made it out to No Hugs or the Shop yet, but they're all pretty nice places. The Shop's kind of interesting because it all started with just 4 or 5 guys that drink in the garage. It's literally in their garage.
Yeah.
And they ended up building the track, and then people started showing up, and now they got a whole following there. So it's pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah, that's pretty much how the underground started too. It was just me and Ryan, and I asked a couple of buddies I used to race with 25 years ago, and they came out, and now we got seating for 28 if we need it. So
that place looks awesome. I was watching the video, the walk up the stairs the other day.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, at the end of the year, we're going to have the 1RC foam oval nationals. There's all these foam tracks that have popped up. Around the country, and I'm like, well, there's no like big event just focused on that. So we're going to run the RC Oval National. So you want to come to town? That'd be super fun.
Was that Wisconsin, right?
Yeah,
Wisconsin. Yes.
At least it'd be good for cheese, if nothing else.
Right? Yeah, come on, sure. It's a business. It's a business deduction.
And lots of beer.
Come on, Derrick. It's a business.
So is that you guys? Is that like upstairs of like a garage or something?
No, it's downstairs in my basement.
Oh, really?
That's why it's got the name The Underground, because it's literally underground.
Super.
I just thought there was a lot of moonshining going on additional.
Well, allegedly.
Yeah, the beer stays out and the alcohol stays out in the garage.
But, we could always talk about, Carpy's moonshine, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless now.
That's the spinoff. That's the spinoff.
So I've noticed too. I've been I'm like your biggest Instagram, Facebook follower. I think I pretty much like all your posts. It's a little nerdy, but it's so cool seeing all these cool wraps coming out and a lot of the new designs and stuff that your crew's coming up with. Mm-hmm. I imagine you're getting a lot of like customers getting ready for like Chili Bowl and some of the bigger races coming up. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah. They got the 2 big oval races. Well, I guess 3, at least in our neck of the woods. And then obviously Chili Bowl is there's a race called Motorama. That's a big dirt oval race. It's out near Syracuse. I think it just opened up the entries and they sold out in like 15 minutes or something.
That's crazy.
And then there's obviously the Chili Bowl is a big one for our customers. And then they got the Snowbird Nationals in Florida at the end of January. So those are our 3 big ones that we try to promote and make sure everyone gets their stuff for. We typically, if anybody wants to keep an eye out, we usually run some kind of promotion, usually about a month or so before Chili Bowl and Snowbirds. Motorama, we probably missed the boat on just because I think that's coming up relatively soon, I believe. But yeah, so we usually run like a 20-25% off deal for those races, to get people who haven't ordered stuff from us to give us an opportunity, as well as kind of reward the people who do order a lot from us.
Yeah, very cool.
So when you were talking, Derrick, about those 3 tracks that are, in close proximity to you, it made me think, do you get an opportunity to go out and race?
Yeah. I go to the first track of the series, Phoenix, which their first race of the series is actually next week when we're going to run Pan Cars. So I'll miss that one, but I usually try to get out there, half dozen to a dozen times a year. Friday nights, they have a good turnout. Almost every Friday is usually 20 cars or so. Late model is the big thing out here. I'm not sure if it's the same for you guys, but
yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah, they run a stock class, which is kind of just box stock minus the radio. And then they have an open class with the LiPo, and you can put the bigger motor in if you wanted. And
you can run the 10V. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no one can, but
yeah. Yeah, we're the standard motor, but we run 300 milli LiPos. Yeah, pretty much super late model is kind of the thing out here.
Yeah, that class, I haven't ran the actual asphalt modified yet, but I love the late model with the LiPo. It's so much fun.
Oh,
it's like the perfect blend.
Yeah, for sure.
See, buddy, you got to come here in May. It's like your perfect blend. You're gonna have all your customers here.
Yeah.
Everybody's running your stuff.
You're gonna have Ryan. Ryan's gonna. You're gonna try to walk around. He's gonna have his arms around your leg. You're gonna have to drag him.
Derrick, don't leave my side. I can't
stay here, Derrick. Stay here.
The biggest thing is, what kind of taco places do you guys have down there?
Oh, hey, buddy, you come to town. I'll bring a darn taco truck right to the track.
Yeah,
there's actually one less than a mile from my house that goes to a gas station, and there's more cars there for the tacos than the gas station. It's pretty funny.
It's not that surprising, to be honest.
Oh, it's good stuff. It's authentic. It's really good.
We live for tacos here.
There's the next Carpy shirt.
Yeah,
Carpies. We live for tacos.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll race for tacos.
We'll race for tacos.
You can have that one. I'll give you that one free.
We actually went to the Carpet Oval Nationals the end of last carpet season, so probably springtime. Is in Ohio, and they brought a taco truck for that race. They bought a taco truck to come down and sling some street tacos, so there's a pretty nice taste to it. Definitely drew us there.
I was just saying, glad we talked about that, because I'm going to go down there and talk to them, I think. Would that be fun, Ryan? Huh?
I think so. Yeah, definitely have a taco truck show up and everybody just load up. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. We're hoping to have some big hitters like Murph Dog's talking about coming, and JP Trickle getting back behind a controller, and then we got some big dogs that race around this area. So and then we got Ryan. Throw him in the mix.
Field filler.
Maybe I'll have to.
He's a winner.
I'll have to do a little more practice this year with the 1RC, so I don't get too embarrassed.
That's all right.
Yeah.
What track did you say you guys have? Is it the foam track? You said
it's we have a foam track. It's 26 feet long, 24 feet wide. She gets going. We're running 2.4 laps.
Yeah,
around it. So we get scooting.
Nice. I never ran on the foam track. Have you? What's the big difference between that and the carpet track, handling wise?
Honestly, for me, I mean, the foam actually rubbers up quite a bit. It grips up, and carpet. Some guys will run that CRC carpet. Some other guys will run like office carpet. Office carpet just really gets like really dirty, and it loses a lot of grip. Honestly, I've run the CRC office and foam, and I don't do much with setup changes. I think the biggest thing that I'll do like on foam is just soften up that right rear and get that car to plant and squat on the right rear, so you get the drive off. beyond that, that's about it. Just keep your tires from glazing up, and you're good to go.
Yeah, the biggest fun for me, being a track owner, is that it's like real racing. It changes throughout the day. Like typically when we start out, it's a little slick, a little slippery, and it literally starts. We call it rubber in. It's not really rubbering in, but we call it that. And by midday, guys, got to watch it because traction roll. We do allow tire cleaner. So like Awesome Sauce is prevalent. Everybody pretty much picks that as their choice. And, by the time it starts laying on the track and then laying on the tires, you'll start to fight a traction roll issue. It can bring its, we had some guys that had no traction issue until we got into the feature, which was 150 laps. And, they sauced up right before. So getting about 60, 70 laps, all of a sudden it comes into the mix. But again, it's kind of cool because if you have a guy who is just, dominating, he's not dominating anymore, and he's got to change his run line or he's got to change his entry into the corner. He's got to back it up sooner. So it throws a wrench. And it started to hit in the C main. And we had a couple of guys that were a few laps down. The leader started having traction roll. They finished 1-2. It was a 100-lap B main or C main. And they finished 1-2-3, and it was a pass for the lead coming out of 4.
Oh, really?
To win it at the line, and only 2 cars transferred. So that was like race of the year so far. It was amazing. But again, it's just because the track actually changed during the race. And Ryan can probably, like I say, talk more to that just because he's racing it more than I actually race it. So
yeah, that's kind of like how our local track is because we run pan cars there too. So. It's kind of like a bullring pan car track. I think it's somewhere around 100-foot run line total. But for the 1RC, they split the infield, so we run half the track for the 1RC.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So
Good idea.
the turn 1 and 2 is all rubbered in from the foam pan cars. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 handle completely different. And 1 and 2 you'll go in and you'll towards the end of the night, it'll start bicycling or traction rolling. I know with the EDM, that's when we first started running 1RC with, and you'd go in and you'd almost bicycle that whole corner. It was super fun.
Yeah. So let's expand on that a little bit. How many different types of RC cars do you have and get an opportunity to race?
I don't own any of them anymore other than my one RC. So, we used to race, my dad started in the 80s. I got into it mid 90s. We kind of took a hiatus early 2000s, 2005-ish. Then we recently got back into it, 2000, around the time I started Carpy. So 2012, 2013. Well, I got back into it. He didn't really want anything to do with it. But a year or two went by and he was back into it. And then I started getting busy with the shop. So he kind of runs the whole program as far as the cars, maintenance, all that stuff. I'm just a hired driver.
Nice.
I like to refer to myself as like a Paul Menard, Not very good, but I got a guaranteed ride.
That's all that matters, man. You can get it done that way.
But yeah, I usually run 2 pan cars, sometimes 3. We run two 10 scale classes, and we have a 12 scale oval car. And I have the 1RC late model. I have an EDM. We don't really run it anymore. And I have a foam tire sprint car, but we don't really get out with that much either. We had a phase with that, but it wasn't for us.
Yeah, the late models are just tough to beat, right? Because you can bang up, but you can bang a little bit, thump doors and so forth. So that's super, super fun.
The asphalt modified cars look awesome, though.
Yeah,
that has rowdy. To be. Yeah, you guys have them up there?
Oh yeah. You guys did a wrap for me on one.
Oh yeah.
In my signature style. That is a badass looking car, man. Everything about them, they're just so much fun to run. Once you get them set up and dialed in and working, they're just an absolute blast. Definitely pick one up for $200 some bucks.
I bought one to make the template, and I took it apart to get all the body panels off, and there was 7,000 screws, and I just never put it back together.
Yeah.
Right.
I actually broke the servo in mine. took a pretty hard hit, and I've literally just kept it on the shelf. It looks so cool, but I don't want to pull it all apart because you're right. It is a pain to get that car apart.
I'd rather just spend another $200 and get a new one.
Right.
Yeah, I had mine all apart too to paint because I bought it clear and I'm painting it and all this stuff. And yeah, then I'm trying to remember how to put it back together. And so many times I'm like, I'm just going to bring it in and let Ryan do it. And I'm like, no, he'll never let me live that down.
No, I would never.
Do this.
Yeah.
I was sending him pictures and hoping he'd go, oh no, that doesn't go there. That goes there. No, he's just like, finish it.
Yeah.
There's some issues with it, but fix it. Find it and fix it.
I'll tell you that is some of the, at least in my opinion, with wraps and things like that, like it's pulling the car apart. You guys just did a rock steady body for me for my SC mod that I'm taking to Chili Bowl, and it's like I put the car all together, paint it, fit it the whole 9 yards, and then I got to pull it back apart so I can do the wrap. It's just like the amount of labor that goes. I had kind of a new appreciation for like people that actually do this stuff a lot more than I had, because it's like, wow, this is a ton of work. I mean, had I known, I would have just shipped the entire body down to Mo and said, here you go, buddy. Do me up. Here's $100 bill. Like, let's get this done. Because, it's a ton of work. I mean, even on the small ones. But good news is it, with your wraps, it's good quality vinyl. So, you use a little bit of water, just mist it on. You can kind of pull it off as you need to if you kind of screwed up or whatever. So, that definitely helps a ton.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a second, Derrick. So that's the way we do it. What is your recommended kind of process of once the wrap arrives?
It all kind of depends on the body. Like the 1RCs and some of those thicker, like I guess they're 10 scale, but 8 scale, like real dense, like shark bodies or something. Those ones, they're pretty solid mass. See, I typically don't use water. The vinyl is an air release vinyl, so it's pretty forgiving as far as peeling up unless you've really squeegeed it down. And if you get bubbles due to the air release technology in the vinyl, you're able to push it out relatively easy more times than not. With like pan car bodies and some of those where they're really thin, like trying to push the wrap on, the body's starting to flex, and it's a real pain. So with that, a little mist doesn't hurt. People do it both ways. I don't mist it mainly because with the bodies we do install, we install them and put them right in the box. And I'm always afraid, with that moisture in there, like if it rubs up too much, starts to peel, you have those problems. So we at the shop, we just do them dry, but yeah, you can do it either way.
Yeah, I'm a hack, so I'm doing this when I'm putting that wrap on. So I definitely have to mist it, and just because sometimes it takes a couple of cracks to get it right. But
yeah, we do
usually
when we do Mud Boss bodies, we got it down. I think our record's 6 minutes.
Wow,
get out of here! Wow.
But we do so many of those that it's like second nature at this point.
So is that like, so you talk about the technology in your vinyl and being, much higher grade. Is that one of the reasons why the fluorescent colors have been kind of
No. So the fluorescence, the big thing was it might have gotten better now. I haven't really looked, but since COVID, it's just been so hard to get it. And then you can get certain brands for a while and then you can't, and then you have to switch them. And every company's fluorescence a little different shade. And so like replicating something if someone ordered a year ago was really hard to do, as well as just the time. So how we came across not doing it was I'm blind and dumb. So Mo actually he had to call off for like 2 days in a row, and he ended up going to the hospital and had to get a pacemaker like that same day, like the craziest thing. Oh. So I had to fill in for him for about a week and a half. And I'm trying to like weed all these little pieces and lay them in there. And I haven't done it in forever. And I'm like, this is miserable. Then I was like calculating the time, and I'm like, there's no way we're even breaking even on this fluorescent stuff. So yeah, we got away from it. But what we did was, so back to the story, is I think just labor and stuff. It just wasn't financially reasonable, and
That's fair.
just the time it would take. We could do quadruple the wraps in a day. It was a little bit of a hesitation because we didn't know how people would react to it, and obviously there's some people that didn't like that decision, but for the most part, everyone seemed cool with it. But we did get a new printer in that same time span, probably a couple months later. So our main printer had a problem. We were able to get it fixed, but in my mind, I had already planned on paying that repair bill, which ended up being the same amount as cost of paying it off. So we ended up putting that into the new version of a printer that we have. So we have both running now, so we can do twice as fast. But
Nice.
that one has an extra color cartridge. So the one we had before had CMYK, and then the light versions of CMYK, orange and black. Now we have all of those palettes with the green cartridge, so it gives a wider color gamut. So like our greens and our yellows are pretty bright. They're not quite fluorescent, but they still pop pretty well. So
Yeah, no, that's cool, and it does make sense, bud. Because I was I had a lot of the like neon or fluorescent yellow in my wraps, and I remember getting one for, I think it was even for my asphalt modified. Like my name on the top was all cut out, and when I peeled it off, I'm like, holy crap! Like this is crazy, and I had to kind of fix it and put it all back in, and it's again not your fault or anybody's.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is crazy labor intensive. I can totally get that. And what's cool though is that same kind of that neon, hey, fluorescents aren't available, right? But like that same yellow, you guys have gotten pretty darn close to that where I can't even barely tell the difference anymore. So
you really only notice it. You really only notice the color difference if they're sitting right next to each other. Like if you didn't have the fluorescent one right next to it, you would just assume it was. Like the greens and the oranges are pretty nice. Like I don't use the fluorescents on mine mainly for just weight purposes, but and I mean they always look sharp. So there's definitely a few people that weren't thrilled, but I think overall everyone seemed pretty cool with it. So.
Well, and I think, and you kind of explained it in the last time we spoke about the fluorescents and it becoming, even more expensive, right? And the thing is, too, is you have to, when you're looking at a wrap, it's not a cheap investment, but when you consider everything that goes into it, the design time, right? I mean, I've gone back to Evan 2-3 times for revisions. Right. I mean, his time is money. The materials, all of that. So, and then also you got to make a profit on this stuff too. So, having variances in prices for that material and then the additional labor, I totally get it. Otherwise, nobody's going to pay $250 for a 1RC wrap, and I think people would be more insulted. At least I would be, if you came out with a price like that versus the couple of bucks it is. So, well said. That's good. I'm glad we cleared that up because I was kind of curious about why that kind of stopped.
And plus, one of the cool things, I don't know if we've gotten to the 1RCs yet, but a lot of the wraps like the Mud Boss, some of the like MR custom late models and stuff, now that we don't layer the fluorescents in, we've been able to go in and like add details to them, like the grooves in the deck. So it looks like it's a paneled, sheet metal deck with the little rivets in it. Some of the shadowing and some of the panels stuff that we couldn't do with fluorescents because when you layer a fluorescent over it, you're not going to get those blends and those super fine little details. So that almost some of them look more realistic that way too.
Yeah, for sure.
So how about, is this RC drag racing is really starting to expand? Are you guys also involved with some drag racing wraps?
We dabbled into it like a year and a half ago. The thing with the wraps are a lot of the early people who bought them didn't like them because when the cars flip and they skid across the asphalt, there's no wrap left at the end.
Yeah.
So they weren't really a big fan of it, and we weren't. It wasn't a big market like the oval racing was for us, so we kind of just drifted away from it over time. Okay. But yeah, I mean, the drag racing's definitely blown up. It seems to be getting controversial lately from what I've seen online, but as is racing, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think every genre of RC has had its drama, right?
Yeah.
Over the years, whether it's Roar Racing or IFMAR, or it's like all of them have some
How
kind
about
of
those
issue.
Trinity slot machines? Let's not get into that one.
I don't know much about it. I just read a post on my way home. That they took it off the Roar list or something.
Yeah, they deemed them illegal, which is no bueno.
Well, that's going to end the first part of our 2-part series with Derrick from Carpy. So be sure to join us next week on RC Underground Radio.
You've been listening to RC Underground Radio. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, drop us a line at rcuradio@gmail.com. We're curious to know, what do you like? What don't you like? Who would you like us to talk to?
Sounded really weird.
It was weird, but you know what I meant. We're talking about racing, so...
okay.
You can find us on Spotify, Facebook, and YouTube. See you next time on the RC Underground Radio Podcast.
I am a BB in a boxcar.